Hello everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Shel. My name is Shel Anderson, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Today we are going to be having a go with some new products. It's the Greenery Lane bundle. This bundle has 3 different greetings and a whole bunch of different 4 different greetings and a whole bunch of different leaves, and there's a few flowers as well. And this is the coordinating die set. And it also has the washi tape, the Greenery Lane washi tape. It doesn't come with the bundle. You can purchase it separately, but it is fun stuff. You can actually die cut the leaves from the washi tape. And we are going to use a color that I don't use very often today. It is garden green. And, pardon me, our card base today is 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to score that in the center at 4 1/4. And give that a good burnish. All right, we're done with that scoring board. Now for the inside of my card, I have a panel that is 3 3/4 inches by 5. And I'm going to pop that on the inside right now so that we have a nice place to write our greeting. And I got a nice border on there. So there we go. We're all set there. Let's set that aside. Next up, I have a piece of basic white, and I'm going to cut this down when I'm done. This is just a big piece. I think this one here is 4 3/4 by 5.5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply washi tape to this. And because you'll notice that I'm moving it here to suit me, because my card base is the garden green, so I want to get as much of that garden green on there as I can, because there's different shades of green. And I'm going to cut that off, and you'll see there's a wrinkle in it there, but because this is washi tape, you can just peel it back and fix it. Look at that. Super simple. All right. Now we're going to continue and add another piece over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. And that way I can turn this around and work with it. And I'm just going to line this. Maybe got it down too close to the paper already. Let's try that again. I'm going to line, well, sir. There we go. Line that up like so. And now I'm going to trim this down as is, because I'm going to keep this. I must have a piece of scrap white here somewhere. I have lots of scraps of white. So I'm going to, oops, a larger one please. Put that one on there. And I'm going to put that one on there in case I want to use those for embellishment. See what my plan is? Because we have dies that will cut these out. How fun is that? We'll put that one on there. All right, that can be garbage. And I'm just going to curl these around the edges so that I don't have a hot mess happening. And I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just going to roll this around to the back side. And you'll see I have a bubble here. I'm going to peel this back and fix my bubble. Just like that. All right, tuck this around, and I'm going to cut that off. So now we're going to cut this down to size. I'm going to cut this down to 3, I'm going to cut it to 3 3/4 by 5 maybe. Let's see. You'll notice that I didn't need to put that second piece on. Heavens. Because I'm going to cut this side off. So maybe do a little measuring beforehand, because I'm just winging this today. I have no idea what I'm doing. We're just going to do it together. Creating together is fun. 3 and throw, no, see, we're going to be over a little bit. So, boom, we're going to go down through there. So I'm going to trim this so I get the tape off it. Let's see, 3/4 of an inch, I think. Yep. I think it moved a bit though. Let's see. I think it moved a bit. It did. You know what? I might just use my scissors, because I can see where it's supposed to be. There we go. Just a little wee bit. So we might put that on the inside of our card even. This is going to be the outside of our card. All right. Now, I want some garden green ribbon, because I'm going to go like so. And cut that off. Get me some tear and tape. And add this to the front. If I can find the end of the tape, would be helpful. All right. I'm going to take 2 pieces. One at the top, like so, wrapped around the back. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, leaving a gap in the middle. And the reason I'm leaving that gap is because that's where I'm going to put my knot. And I want to be able to fish my other piece of DSP through there. All right. Now we'll find a tool here so that I can get my paper backings off. Maybe. It's a little more difficult because this washi tape is a slick surface. So it's tending to want to come up with there. I think I got it. No, yep, I do. Because my mat is silicone, it will not stick to it, so that's a good thing. We're just going to put our ribbon like so and wrap it around to the back side. And then I'll take another wee piece of this, and somewhere here I have an opening right here. And we'll fish this through like so. And we'll tie a knot. How pretty is that washi tape? There we go. Now I'll just trim. And there is our, to lay flat, there we go. There is the front of our card. So we can put that directly on our card front, but I think I'm going to use dimensionals. Give it a little bit of lift. I'm going to put a dimensional right there on the ends of those ribbons so that they don't flop around. Something like that. All right, let's get all those paper backings off. One more. Oops. See, that's on that washi tape, and it's a slick surface. All right. See how that's gonna just give us a little border. I'm sorry if my head's in the camera. I'm trying to get this on here even Steven, just like so. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, now I have a green matte layer, and I am going to add this to the front, and I'm going heavy on dimensionals because of the slick surface. There we go. So now we just need to come up with something to put on this matte layer to decorate the front of our card. And with all the lovely choices we have here, I'm sure we'll find something. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Love it. And this I'm going to put down through here, but I need to cut this down to 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Actually, yep, let's do it that way. 3 and, oh, sorry, not 3 3/4. 5. We need to cut it down to 5. Yep. And you'll notice that there's a little piece hanging off the edge here. I don't know whether you guys can see it or not, but I can. Beautiful. Now, I think I'm going to peel this back. Trim it off because I want this to adhere really well. So if I peel those ends back, will do better, I think. Might as well use every little bit of leftovers that we can, right? And look at that. It's going to brighten up the inside here a little bit. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So now we have to do something here with the front of our card. Now we can simply die cut these pieces if we so desired, because we have the dies to do that. Or we can do some stamping. And I think we're going to do some stamping just because I want to. No other reason why. And I'm going to pull, well, maybe I am, this big leafy branch, and I'm going to pull, I've pulled a couple of dies here. I want to make sure I have the right ones. This one, yep. And we're going to do some stamping, and then we need a greeting. Oh, I like that one. Wishing you well. Perfect. All right, so let's put this one down at the bottom, like so. Let's get our Stamparatus in here and get everything lined up and ready to stamp. Okay, come up here. We'll get some magnets on. Wishing you well. The big leaf and the small leaf. Now, to get these picked up, these photopolymers are so sticky that it wants to take the paper with it. All right, garden green. I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to do the big leaf. I'm going to take this off for a minute. The big leaf and the greeting in garden green. And we'll pull that up. I'm going to stamp it one more time, just to make sure. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Now I'm going to, I'll leave that like that, I guess. I'm going to lay this one on, and I'm going to turn my plate over and pick that up. Okay. And I'm going to change ink pads to Pretty Peacock. And I think it's going to be pretty dark this way. But that's okay, because it's just an outline. It's just an outline. And I'm going to slide my paper down, and I'm going to do one more. There we go. Pop these off, set them aside for a minute, and I'm going to close up this ink pad and get these stamps cleaned and put away before I lose them. And you'll notice that I got a little bit there, so we'll clean that up as well. All right, where's my stamps? There's that one. Oops. And there's this big guy. And our greeting. All right, let's get that back in the case, and we don't have to worry anymore. Everything is accounted for. Okay, now we'll bring back in our stamped images, and I'm going to grab a pair of scissors. And I'm going to cut these apart. Because I'm going to use my mini die cutting machine. I don't want to haul out the big one. It's so heavy and hard to get in the camera. All right. So this one will be our first one. And we're going to die cut this gorgeous leaf. And I'm just going to use a little piece of tape to hold that for a minute while it runs through. And we'll pull that off. And move on to the next one. Now I notice on my first one, I'm off a bit. You see? I didn't catch that on the first one. But that's okay. We'll fix it. No worries. And here's our second one. And that one's much better. All right. We'll put that die over there. We'll bring this one, oops. We'll bring this one through. And this one does not coordinate with that one. Huh. Imagine that. All right, we're going to do something different. We're going to grab a piece of garden green out of my scrap bin, and I'm just going to die cut this one. I thought it coordinated with the one in the stamp, and obviously it coordinates with the one on the washi tape. All right. We learn as we go, right? New products. Okay, let's see what we have here. Take your big tool. Where are you? There you are. Let's give this a little poke here and there. See what we got. Oh, isn't that pretty? Super cute. All right. Now, let's get rid of all these little bits and rid of this machine. And the scrap. Let's put this die in the case where it belongs. Maybe. What did I do with it? There it is. There's those. All right. Those are all accounted for. Now, clean up my mess a bit. we're going to bring in the mini paper trimmer, if I can find it. What did I do with that? Oh, there it is, hiding. Hiding. We're going to trim down our greeting. I'm just kind of eyeballing this because we need to make sure we have it all in there. And I'm trying to match the same borders. Wishing you well. Now another thing I could do with that is I could take my scissors and I could cut around it. But I'm not going to take the time, and you really don't want to watch me do that today. All right, now I need my Pretty Peacock blends. Peacock Light, Peacock Dark. All right, so I'm going to take the dark one. Oops, not that end. And I'm going to see if I can fix that a little wee bit. And then I'm going to take my snips and do a little haircut here to fix my oopsie. I don't even know if I'm going to use both of these, but we'll fix it anyway. And now I'm going to use, let me just get a little piece of scrap. I'm just going to use this to fill in my leaves. Turn it around here so I can work on it. How pretty is this set? It's a very calm, I would call it a calm set, if you know what I mean. It's going to be great for sympathy. I don't even know if there's a sympathy greet. Yeah, there are. Thank you, wishing you well, here for you, and love and hugs. So basically, sympathy, support. I mean, you could use it for anything and use different greetings, but I love anything with leaves and trees. But if you've followed me for any amount of time, you already know that. All right. I love the subtleness of this light Pretty Peacock. And I mean, I could have stamped this in black and just colored it in, but I like that I'm getting the two shades of peacock this way. All right, that's that. My greeting, my card. Let's bring it back in. And I think I need a piece of basic white that is going to go on here as a matte layer. What do you think about that? Because this garden green is 3 3/4 by 2.5, but if I put that on there, we're not even going to see it. So like I said, we're working as we go. So if that was 3 3/4 by 2.5, I want 2 1/4 by 3.5. Am I right? I am right. I love it when I'm right. Okay, let's glue this on. And, oh, there goes Facebook again, doing the flippy thing. It's distracting to me. I hope you guys don't see that. Every once in a while, Facebook, it's just kind of like flashing, rolling. And I thought at first it was my camera or my lights, and it's not. It is something to do with Facebook, and I'm not quite sure why that happens. All right. Now we have this leaf, and I have these leaves, and I have this greeting. But I'm thinking this greeting is way too big. I really am. I'm going to try fussy cutting it and see if I like it better. And I'm sorry that you have to watch me do that, but the joys of me creating live and not knowing what I'm doing. I mean, there's a lot of videos that I do that I pre-do a card and figure things out, or I have my sketch in my sketchbook and I go off the sketch and the measurements that I've already figured out. Well, that's all well and fine, but this one I'm just kind of stamping on the fly and I'm doing whatever I want to do, but it's, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut the words out. Yes. I'm going to make 3 separate words. And that way I can place them where I want. And it won't take away from the leaves. I just thought it was too big the way it was. This way, I can do what I want with it. And I'm going pretty quick here, so don't expect perfection, whatever you do. Because you're not going to get it here. Make myself laugh. Alrighty. Trying to go quickly because I know this is so boring for people to watch. Alright. Let's see what I can do with these, how quickly I can do them. You're probably sitting there saying, oh, for goodness sakes, woman, just pre-plan your videos. We don't want to watch a fussy cut. It doesn't happen that often. You can handle it. Try to keep my paper moving and my scissors straight. And when I don't do that, I have these little catches like you just saw me do there that I have to try to smooth out. All right, one more word. One more word. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to use both of those pretty peacock leaves. I think it may be too big. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. If I went wishing you well. I like that. I like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, we're going to put Tombow on here and glue it right to our card. Sorry that you hear my puppies, but there's somebody outside getting out of their car. I live right across the street from a school, and there's a big playground there. So all the parents bring their kids down to the playground to let them run around and get rid of some of that pent-up energy that all the kids have and that we wish we still had. And of course, my puppies love kids, so they like to watch the kids that are in the playground. Wishing you well. All right. Now let's get this guy on here. Just adding Tombow here and there. And I'm going to pop that just like that. And then this one just kind of breaks it up a little bit, eh? This one just kind of breaks it up. Never did I ever think I would pair Pretty Peacock with Garden Green, but you saw it here, folks. And I think I'm going to put this one right there, just to say hello and make it happy on the inside. Boom, just like that. We still have lots of room to write our greeting. Wishing you well. Now we need to embellish. So I want some twine for right here. And I don't know if I have any twine. I got a lot of twine. Let me show you twine. Ha! This is just a little bit of it. But I don't have any that is Pretty Peacock. I've got Lost Lagoon, but that's not even close. And I don't have any. Oh, I have Garden Green. Look at that. And if you're wondering what this is, it's an ice cube tray. Yep, a silicone ice cube tray to the rescue. All right, I'm going to make a little wee bow and put it right here, just because. If I can find the end, that is. There we go. All right, I'm going to use my little bow maker because it makes much better bows than I can. There we go. And we'll pull that off and trim that tail. And let me get my scissors here. Trim that as well. Now we need a glue dot. A glue dot. And we'll just pop that right there. Well, I obviously should have used my take your pick tool because I left the glue dot on the paper, on the transfer sheet. There we go. There's the glue dot. And there is my wee bow. All right. Now we need a little something something. And there are some Garden Green dots in this low profile sparkle dots. And we're going to use them. And I'm thinking there's a lot happening, but it looks kind of blank right here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, get over there, And one more big one. Just to say hello. How pretty and sparkly am I down here in the corner? Silliness. My blood sugar's getting low, folks. I need some lunch here today. This is my 4th video in a row this morning, so I need some lunch. There we go. That is our card using the Greenery Lane bundle and the Greenery Lane washi tape that is coming soon. And there's the inside. How pretty. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be seeing much more of this set. I hope you liked the video today. I apologize for fussy cutting the words, but it had to be done. All right, bye-bye for now. See you tomorrow.